evening, everybody, and welcome once again for another round of our ILR F1 2019 PC Championship, as the calendar takes us to round number 11 and to the outskirts of Budapest, to a place called Magyarország, home of the Hungarian, which is the stage for our Hungarian Grand Prix. 14 turns connects an extension of 4 kilometers, 0.3. That is the distance of a lap around here. It's going to be repeated 35 times this afternoon using the C4s as the soft tires. The mediums will be the C3s and the hards will be the C2s marked in white, unless, of course, the weather plays its tricks on us and gives us a wet surface to race on. Taking a look at the standings, Shadow still leads the championship with 188 points, followed by Plexit in P2 with 95, 1 point ahead of Infamous, the best of our reserve drivers, with P3. Then followed by Iceman, 10 points behind. Scruzix completes the top 5 with 71 points. Then we have iCurly in 6th, followed by Andinator in P7, Lehman in P8 as the best of the Williams drivers, only 2 points ahead of J. Cole, as GSR, the second best of our reserves, completes the top 10 with 45 points. Moving to the constructor standings, we have Renault still leading the championship with over double the points of Alfa Romeo, who come in P2 so far with 135 points. Not too far away is Silverstone based Racing Point. After that we have McLaren with only 99 points so far, 9 ahead of the Austrians of the Red Bull Racing Team. After that we have Williams in 6th with 633 points, 10 ahead of the American-based Haas F1 team, followed by Mercedes, who after their performance at the home Grand Prix got from last place to 8th place with 43 points, followed by both Italian teams, as Ferrari with 24 and Toro Rosso with 21 complete the standings. So with that, we can get ourselves started with our qualifying session for the Hungarian Grand Prix. And as always, we have alongside us in the commentary booth our lovely Jess. How are you doing?
I am doing good today, and Hungary is very tricky, I must say. It's really hard of overtaking. You've got to find the balance of aggression and smoothness when you get on the track, and those tight corners are just really, really hard to get to. And it's like Monaco without the wall, except there is no wall, basically. And I've just been informed by the drivers, for the first time in a while, it's going to be a wet race.
Oh, that's going to be spicy, especially as I was seeing some drivers already on the hards and medium compounds. So maybe it might become a wet race later on, maybe not exactly at the start, and that's maybe why some of the drivers picked a harder choice of tires for the collection of tires they can bring to this race weekend, because of course you can only use the hard tires during qualifying if you pick the harder choice of tire selection. So we do have at the moment, as you pointed out correctly, it is commonly named the Monaco without the barriers due to the narrow nature of the layout, and of course it's going to be very hard to overtake, at least in about 90% of the lap, because that hard finish straight is very long indeed. So hopefully we can get some exciting action into turn 1.
Yes, and we did see Bert last week take a very solid victory. He made his debut last week, and another person making his debut is Black Panther, but unfortunately he's not in the lobby at the moment, as he's having troubles with his computer, so hopefully he can come back soon. But he's reserve driver in the Red Bull, replacing Mr. Q, I believe. Was that right?
Yes, he is replacing his fellow Belgian driver. Mr. Q is not attending today, so he's it's a Belgium for a Belgium in the Red Bull team, and yeah, it's going to be the debut of Black Panther. Let's see how it goes, as meanwhile we've had some drivers complete their flying laps. Entity, we were following him, he completed his lap time, but oh, there's a moment from him as he loses the rear out of turn 1, and he got his front wing completely out of the car, complete disconnection of the front wing. That's gotta hurt. and that's gotta be expensive as well. Gene Haas is probably not very happy with that one. Ace of Spades doing the same, getting his lap invalidated. Iceman himself getting his lap invalidated as well. So the track is, or the programming of the game is quite strict in terms of the track limits, and of course to maximize time, drivers are going to be pushing those boundaries, don't you think, Jess?
Yeah, well, I think so. And don't forget, some of these guys may also have a wet setup on as well. So lap times may not be as fast, obviously, if you have a dry setup on. Or choice of having a mix up, have a mix dry, mix wet. But it depends how wet it's going to be. We haven't been told if it's going to be full wet or inters. So I think we're just going to leave it a surprise, really. I think we're all going to be surprised, apart from the drivers. Even the drivers might be surprised because they may have not looked how hard the rain was going to come down, but I assume it might be inters, because that won't be too bad. But if it's going to be full wets, then I'm going to find it really, really tricky, and I think these guys are going to find it very tricky as well. So we'll have to wait and see. Shallow's the only one that saved lap time on the soft compound tire at the moment, 1:15.5. And I think the only other person on the softs is Cisco in the Ferrari. He's currently in the pits. Everyone else on the mediums and the hards. But again, it doesn't matter. Well, it depends if it's a wet start. Almost certain it's a wet start. But you almost guarantee if you want a good qualifying position, just qualify on the softs, because you're not going to use it anywhere in the race. So what's the point in going on the mediums where you can go faster on the softs?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm more inclined.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused.
As to what? Oh yeah, for the tires, for the tire choices. Yeah, it's why I'm also a bit confused, because if the rain is starting as wet, then unless these drivers are just doing practice laps, there's no point on them on trying to qualify on the mediums and hards, right? So yeah, I'm getting.
Apparently my mic's
I'm looking at that. That's my fault, because I have the settings. It's not echoing to me. But can you speak for a little bit, just to test things?
Yeah, of course. And hopefully you won't hear any echo now. But again, we do apologise if you can hear an echo once again. But let us know if it's fixed, please. That would be brilliant. Quite a few people have been validated their laps already, and Iceman has just set a lap, but it's not obviously a representative lap time at the moment. He's just getting a feel for the track. And I think we're starting to see more people on the mediums to start off with. We've got yellow flag in sector 1, that's people moving out of the way. Hopefully the mic's sorted, just please tell me it's sorted. I'm gonna have a look.
Yeah, I'm trying to know as well. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's.
Apparently I sound like a stadium announcer, but that was like a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, hopefully sorted out. The thing is, now for me, you have the echoey thing going for me, so hopefully it's not going on for them anymore, and it's only for me. Because I swear to God, Windows 10 has been ruining my life. I swear to God.
Yeah. Because you only got Windows 10 recently, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. It screwed myself up royally. Well, continue with our performances from our drivers. Iceman still has done 3 laps, finally posted a lap time. And it's still echoing. Oh God. If it's still echoing, then I'm not sure what to do. I'm not sure what to do.
Apparently it still sounds quite bad.
Yeah.
Should I change mics and see what happens?
No, because I didn't mute her in the lobby. Do you have the voice active in the game? Jess?
No, otherwise I would see that I'm speaking, and also the drivers would hear I'm speaking, and they would complain in the chat.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea. So yeah, this is awkward, because yeah, I have my settings going around. I'm trying to see. No, it wasn't. Let me know if now I've changed things around. Let me know if it's better now.
I swear to God, if it isn't.
I listen to her fine, and I listen to the game fine, and I listen to my own voice like fine. So
yeah, sometimes I think it's just the fact that probably you just had Windows 10 recently, but sorry about the weird start to the stream. We don't usually get this. I think there's a second stream in a row we've had technical difficulties of some kind. I thought we were going to get away with it today.
yeah, it would be nice if we did, to be honest. God damn it.
Yeah. Curly's improved his lap time now on the soft 1:15.8, so not that far behind Shadow, who is still first at the moment. Now, Shadow's had wheel problems last week, and he's not setting high expectations for himself this week. So if he finishes high, it'll be a good achievement for him, but I don't know. I think he's back to using his Logitech wheel again, because his Fnatic has died or something, so yeah.
Why would you?
I'm still echoing.
Yeah, why would you be echoing? I have no idea.
The thing is, I don't know.
Because on my settings,
Is
there's
it
no
my
reason.
end?
No, because I can listen you fine.
Oh, right.
So it's something about like my mixer, my mixer basically, if I can call it that.
Or it might be because I had that issue where it echoes for someone and it had due to the spatial sound or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
for me you sound fine. I'm gonna try to fix it, but I've tried everything I know, or at least it's obvious to me.
Yeah, it's gonna sound weird for the moment, but
yeah, I guess. Well, at the moment I can't do anything else.
Prix.
Yeah, at the moment I can't do anything else, honestly. Maybe it's something with the settings on Discord, but yeah, give us a rundown of what's going on. I'm going to try to go to Discord and fix it.
Yeah, I might try and reload Discord in a minute as well, but before that, I just hurt myself again. Lovely. So at the moment, the top three on the I've qualified on the soft tyres so far as their best lap time, and as Aidenator's gone second fastest, he's beat Curly. So we've got Shadow in P1, Aidenator in P2, Curly in P3, who's just cut the corner. But I assume he wants to get back in time for to set his final lap. We got Ray in fourth. And then we got the fastest of the medium runners, which is Lehman in the Williams in fifth. And then we got Bailey, who's finally back. Hopefully his internet doesn't play up like last week, and hopefully he can carry on in sixth. And then we've got Kai Bacchini in the Haas in seventh, Norman's in eighth, and Prix in ninth. And Bird, last week's race winner, only 10th at the moment, but I can see him pulling up all the stops to get he's on the softs now though, so, and he's looking, oh, he's 8 tenths quicker than his medium time, so you know that looks impressive.
It does indeed. What looks more impressive is that I fix it. Okay, I know what was wrong. It's probably a setting with Discord, and I still am not happy with it because it's not the way I wanted it. Because now I fixed it, but like your sound is coming through the same thing as the game sound. So I can't regulate it separately, and I would like to do it so I'll look into it further after the broadcast is done. But yeah, for now it's fixed, and that's what matters. So
green flag, yeah. Green flag.
Yeah, we have green flag. We have green flag conditions in the broadcast. Thank you very much, guys, for the heads up. At least you guys let us know that we were.
Yeah, otherwise we would have been echoing the whole broadcast, and it would have been like.
Yeah, it would have been fun, to say the least.
I do believe Bird had his lap time invalidated as he's back in the pits at the moment. So he did improve, but it must have been invalidated.
Yeah, so. Cruzix is also coming to the pits. We have Jax FO on a brand new lap. He's improving by over a second at this point. We have Black Panther, who's finally back and is about to finish his lap. He's going to open the RS, going to cross over the line. P12 for the time being with a 1:16.8 for the Red Bull driver.
Yeah, that is not too bad to start off with. Everyone has gone onto the soft tyres, as you would expect. Obviously, if it's a dry race, a lot more people will be on the mediums, but since it is going to be almost certain it's going to be a wet start, everyone is on the soft, trying to make everything count here, and that's what Black Panther starts to do. Times are improving left, right, and centre at the moment. I think we got a few people out. J. Cole's been on those softs for 2 laps, and like I said, it doesn't really matter if you're on the softs for very long because you're not going to use it anyway. So I think he's just letting it all out.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. In case the race starts dry, I guess not, since they are all on the softs. But
it has happened. It has happened.
Yeah, it has. But like, probably he has still multiple sets of softs. There's still enough time for him to go back in and back out quickly if he can do it quickly. So yeah, I expect it to be fine. TrackCFO invalidated his lap time. I had someone else that I was looking into for a flying lap, and I lost him. Was it Blitzkrieg? Blitzkrieg has completed a lap. He's up to P6. So yeah, it was Blitzkrieg I was looking for, and he's got himself up to P6, beating Lehman. So nice job from him.
And speaking of Lehman, he's going to be starting a lap pretty soon. Not yet though, because he's in sector 1 at the moment, starting sector 2. Jack Sefo, is he on a lap? No, he's not. He's going into the pits. Is Corporate Cat on the lap? Or did he just finish one?
No, he's Corporal Carrot is on a lap.
Shall we follow him on the hot lap then?
I was waiting, not trying to throw any flame at him, but I was waiting for one of the faster guys.
Right, yeah. Like Lehman, I think. Yeah, just wait for Lehman.
Yeah, Lehman is on an out lap. I was waiting for someone also like Bird or Ray or Shadow. Looks like Shadow is going out, but the other two are not. So, well, let's see how it goes. Yeah. We're going to follow the Polish or the Pole. I'm actually not sure how to call a person from Poland. Nonetheless, that's a discussion for another day. The Polish is going to get himself started with his lap up to the gears, mode 4 of ERS, patiently waiting for just before the start of the curb on the left hand side, goes hard on the brakes, down to 3rd gear. Some of his rivals might use the 2nd gear for better rotation, nonetheless he's away easily now through the downhill turn 2, downshifting, braking, turning, and the car does not like it one bit. Nonetheless, it maintains stable through the transition toward turn 3, and now uphill through the very fast turn number 4 before the tricky also turn number 5. Of course, you want to jump on the power as early as you can. Looks like Neiman has invalidated his lap, unfortunately, and he's gone.
Typical.
Yeah, he's gone back down to mode 0. So at least I do have Ray out there. So hopefully we can still have a lap from him. He was saying maybe it's a bit of psychological warfare already from the Mercedes guys. But they were saying that they were having issues getting consistent lap times. It's not that they aren't quick, it's just that they just can't hook up their best sectors in the same lap. So let's see what he does. Maybe he's just practicing on his Hamilton routine. Let's see how it goes. So going on board with the Spaniard. He's getting up to the gears once again, just waiting just before the curb, about 60 meters away from turn 1. And as you can see, he does use gear number 2 for better rotation. Gets away up through the gears before going on turn number 2. Now it's a downhill section, very fast as he mounts the curb on the exit of turn number 3 as he finishes sector 1, improving by just under a tenth, as I'm pretty sure that was a well-behaved line through turns number 4 to turn 5, a bit wide on the curb. Nonetheless, I don't think he's going to get a slap on the wrist for that one as he approaches now the chicane of turns number 6 and 7. Now to twisty section of turns number 8, the right-hander of 9, and then the left-hander of 10 before throwing maximum commitment to 11th. Ooh, the back end stepping out a little bit. Nonetheless, that didn't stop him from improving 2/10 so far on his previous best lap. The checkered flag has been shown to some of our drivers. Let's see what Ray Day's Shadow improves to a 1:15.4. A bit of counter steering there from the Spaniards. He's throwing it all in. He's going for a spin, and that's it for his lap. Big mistake from the Mercedes driver as he is out of the possibility to get himself in the top 2 rows. Endinator nullifies his lap, goes into the pits, and most drivers have completed their laps. Let's jump to Black Panther as he's getting himself through turn number 14. Smooth on the power DRS, wide open, is derating. Nonetheless, he is not able to improve his position. He did improve his time, not his position. Unfortunately, we also have Curly, who I'm guessing is coming back to the pits, and Cisco.
He had a moment. He had a moment in the same place as Ray had.
Oh, that's unfortunate. So, and Cisco is doing the same. So I guess it is qualifying session over for these guys. Shadow takes the lead out of the qualifying session. Lehman takes P2, so good job from the Williams driver. Kruzix takes P3, which I'm pretty sure is his best qualifying performance of the season. While we look up and down the order, anyone that has impressed you, Jess?
Well, the top 2 separate by 23 thousandths of a second, so I'm looking forward to seeing the possible rivalry between Lehman and Shadow as well. But it's nice to see Cruz up there again. We've seen a battle with him and Iceman last week in, I think, was it Germany? Yeah, it was Germany.
Yeah.
And that was one of the battles of the race, I think. They really pulled it off. And Iceman down there in P12 is a big shock. I was expecting him to be in the midfield between 6th and 10th maybe, but he's down there in 12th. But the top 12 are still pretty close anyway, so if he found that extra few attempts, he would have been in possibly the top 5 or the top 8 or something, which would equal his best qualifying performance. But yeah, Shadow on pole once again. Back to familiar territory, I see, for Shadow.
Give me a moment, just typing in a chat, because someone asked what is the rating. Actually, I'm not going to type in chat, what the hell am I doing? The rating is when you run out of your ERS for that lap. You might have overall still energy in the battery, but you are only slotted an amount of energy per lap. And when you run out of that energy, you start derating. So when that happens, you run out of energy, so you cannot get the extra horsepower from the hybrid part of your power unit. So, for example, on this track, if you derate out of turn 13, you have absolutely no extra horsepower coming on the acceleration out of turn 14, and that can lose you quite a few tenths. Just even though it's a short run from the exit of the corner to the flag, it can lose you a lot in acceleration. So yeah, that is derating. Hopefully that was a clear explanation. Now, moving on to the race, as guys can see, intermediate tires are going to be used. I'm actually trying to look into the garage, but in the garage, the tires present, if you can see just below the transparency of some of the names on that Ray's garage, there are still mediums there. I'm not sure if that's actually like... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, that is going to backfire so much if it has. Because everyone's starting on the softs, qualifying on the softs, thinking, right, it's going to wet start, it doesn't matter.
Shadow has confirmed it. Dry tires on a wet track, ladies and gentlemen. They are going to probably pit within the first 5 laps, unless it's one of those troll rain sessions where it is raining. It's raining, but not enough for intermediates. That's going to be something else. Everyone started on the softs. Everyone started on, well, not everyone. Outside of the top 10, people will be starting not on the softs. But let's see how it goes.
Oh my god! It is the softs.
Well, let's see. Yeah. Okay, so, okay. Now let's get our details, and we get to tires. And it is the soft tires for not all of our drivers. Lormans, Iceman, Gelbevand, and Entity are on the mediums. And you've disconnected.
I've lost connection to Steam. Yeah. Well, I don't know what happened there.
Well, that's just Codemasters and our Steam. I can't invite you back. That has to be Shadow, I think. I don't know if you can join, but I'm gonna try. I don't even have you as a friend, don't I, Chat? No, I do have you as a friend. Invites to lobby. Okay, I think I sent you an invitation. I think I was able to do so. Okay, but yeah, in the meantime, Jess has joined, so that's nice. And yeah, as you guys can see, the rain has stopped. What? Oh no, wait. No, it hasn't stopped. Just that camera angle wasn't showing me any drops of rain, so I was confused there for a second. But yeah, rain has definitely not stopped, but the drivers are going to be starting on the dry compounds of tires. That is going to be something else for our drivers to experience. Of course, everyone who has raced in these conditions knows how tricky it is, and I do believe in about by lap 5 it will be time for intermediates, even though I'm going to be interested to see if the mediums work better in these conditions. They do not provide the outright grip, but I do believe they are supposed to work better in colder conditions. So I'm not sure if it's going to be beneficial to actually start on the mediums for those guys outside of the top 10. Jess, did you drop out from Discord as well?
Yeah, I did. I think it must be my internet playing up, but
yeah,
I don't know. So sorry about that, guys. Hopefully I'm back. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Oh.
And yeah, you are right in the thick of it. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Bad reaction there from Billy Thompson. Is going to get jumped by one of his rivals. I believe that's the Williams of Blitzkrieg, already pressurizing him. J. Cole already passed him as well. As we head into turn 1, Shadow and Lehman, RP1 and P2. The Renault takes the inside line. It's going to be a drag race now. It's going to be a battle of traction. Lehman does get away with it. Let's see, last time that Lehman was battling with someone for the lead in the opening laps, the top 2 ended up in the grass at Luffield, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see how it goes. There's a couple of car lanes open. There's Ray out. So at least I got that prediction correct. Ray was out as well last time Lehman was in the top 2. So history repeats itself, and Bird is down to 20th place. So disastrous start of the race for the Mercedes, as Lehman still leads the race. Shadow P2, Kruzix P3, Curly P4, and Daninator closes the top 5. What do you see, Jess?
Well, I can't see Bird on my standings at the moment, so I can't see him at the moment. So you'll have to tell me where he is in the future, because at the moment he's P20, but I can't see him, or P80. I don't know, but
I think we'll see anyway.
Oh, did he? Oh, right. Yeah. It's Corporal Carrot's out as well.
Corporal Carrot's out. Yes, binned it out of turn number 11. And there's a virtual safety car in place. Maybe some brave soul is going to take it to the intermediates. Don't know. I'm actually have a great camera angle to figure that one out.
Kruzix is.
Yep, Kruzix is. Let's see.
That's great. So I don't know. I think it's not wet enough for inters yet.
No, it's hards. He's going for hards. He's going to try to take it to the end.
Is the rain going to stay like this? Because if it is, it's going to be really hard for the drivers. Yeah, I've never seen something like this. Yeah,
Gilbovand is also on the hards. Cisco is on the intermediates. And now is either at a masterpiece of a strategic choice, or is going from bad to worse. Because of course, the hards theoretically could be the better choice, as I was explaining. I don't know if you heard, as we have green flag racing again, but yeah, I don't know if you were here to listen, but the softs work better in higher temperatures. So if it's raining, the track is colder, as Andinator has a bit of a sideways moment there. J. Cole almost collected him. But yeah, the colder the conditions, the harder tires work better, at least in theory. I don't know how well that is replicated in this game, but ooh, there's someone going way off. That's Sky Bashimi. Blitzkrieg also going off, and Ace of Spades is going to try to pick up any pieces. He cannot. He backs out. Blitzkrieg gets deep into the corner. He overcooks his brakes, and the Ferrari is going to come back at him. It was a bit of a squeeze, maybe a bit rude there from the German driver of the Williams. Ace of Spades can't capitalize on the mistake from the German driver there.
Nope, he can't, and he's still on those soft tyres, don't forget. And don't forget, soft tyres on the wet track do not mix at the moment. And it is starting to dry up just a little bit, but we'll see anyway, as we're seeing Black Pam taking advantage. Blitzwig, he's going to try again on Kybachine to see if he could not make the same mistake again. And this time he got the move done, and he's up into P6. He's gone wide a little bit there. Kai's now going to capitalise, and so is Ace of Spades. Is Ace of Spades going to get past Blitzwig as well? Yes, he is. So, yeah, the Williams driver were able to get past Kai in the first instance, but not able to stick with it.
Exactly, we do have, and yeah, we are having some sets of yellow flags. I think that's Cisco. Yeah, Cisco is awfully struggling.
Yeah, I was riding on board with him just for a moment, and you can see he was weaving all over the place. He was struggling a little bit there. So he's probably going to go on the hards, which I can't tell what tyre he's going on to. No, he's going on softs.
Yeah.
The thing is, I haven't been told if the rain's going to get any harder or if it's going to stay like this.
Yeah, exactly. That's the worst thing about it. Maybe, I mean, it might just rain like this through the entirety of the race and still be dry conditions on the track itself. So, yeah, it's going to be very hard for these drivers. Of course, they do have the information. We don't, unfortunately, as we have yellow flags to sector 2 and 3, so maybe that was Cisco again, getting caught out by a mistake of his own, as we have another battle up ahead, I believe. Curly is getting awfully close to Shadow, as Lehman has already pulled away 2 seconds from them.
Yes, Lehman in the Williams doing a very good job. Don't forget that he's pulled off some great performances, and usually he's very strong in the wet, and he's showing that today. But Curly is another person who likes the wet as well. And it looks like that he's on a dry track, Curly is. He is not struggling at all. He's putting the pressure on Shadow, and he's matching him pace after pace. And when it's raining in Hungary with dry tyres, it's hard. And Curly's doing brilliantly. He's going to show how good he is. And we've got the McLaren of Aidenator not that far behind as well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Jess, I gotta remind you, because we both forgot. How is it going in terms of the award? The
Supercharge, yes. I forgot a few times actually in the leagues I did last week, so I'm an idiot. But anyway, the person that's gained the most so far is Joint at the moment, between Ace of Spades and Entity with 6. So I'm just going to give it one more lap. And if there's no other game positions, then I will just give it jointly. But I'll give it a few more laps and see what happens.
In the meantime, there's a bit of argy-bargy there as Bailey Thompson kind of forces his way past Blitzkrieg. Iceman is going to be able to capitalize on that one, as the DRS is going to be wide open at the back of the Alfa Romeo. Both Alfa Romeos, Blitzkrieg just completely swipes the front end of Iceman, who collects Bailey Thompson. Fortunately, the one of the Alfa Romeos came out of it unscathed, but Blitzkrieg, you can't be doing that. A misjudgment from him. Iceman had his front wing on the rear tires of the Williams, but the Williams still came across the track. Iceman, yeah, I don't think that's his fault there. Iceman had nothing he could have done. As Curly makes some mistakes somewhere along the way, drops down a place to Endinator, and Kybashimi has spun, coming out of turn number 4, I believe that is.
He's lost his front wing.
And he's lost his front wing, and this is a kind of meta, because just a thing I'm going to say, he was commentating when I've done the exact same thing last weekend in another league. So now I'm commentating on him making the same mistake. So that is something else.
That's karma.
That is something else. Blitzkrieg keeps on dropping places. Now it's Ace of Spades getting past him, and Lormans is all over him at this point now, as the drivers are starting to struggle a little bit more than before, and some of them are actually going to the pits, Jess.
Yeah, they are at the moment, and I wonder what tyres they're going to go on to now. I think a few people might be going on to the hard tyres or on the mediums, I don't know. We don't know about the strategy at this point due to the fact the rain is in the mix at the moment. So, we're seeing with Blitzwig, Blitz is on the inters.
Exactly.
And I'm just going to see Ace of Spades on the mediums. Obviously, Kai Bacchini had to pit due to his front wing damage.
Yeah,
and he's on the mediums as well. So, is there another gamble from Blitz? Because it's not as raining as hard as it was, by the looks of things.
Yeah, I actually can't tell, to be honest.
No, it is really hard, but he is struggling a bit, I can tell. We'll see anyway. Well, look, what I might do is I'll look at his lap times and see how next lap and see how is it compared to his rivals on the hards and the mediums, and if it's slower, way slower than what we would expect, then he would probably have made a similar mistake to what Cisco did earlier.
Yeah, Blitzkrieg is struggling a little bit. He's gonna have to go into the pits. Now, jumping back at the front, Lehman, 4 seconds away from Shadow, and he's going to the pits. Of course, started on the soft, so he's going to have to go on a new set of tires. He's going for the mediums, and actually I really like the choice of some of the drivers outside of the top 10 that went for the mediums, because if it becomes intermediates, they are all going to pit at the same time. If not, they are still in the chance of doing the one stop under a dry tire normal strategy, right? So it was a win and a not lose, at least, situation for both of them, depending on what would happen. Blitzkrieg is out of the session. I guess he collided with the wall, losing control of the car under the lack of grip of his intermediates, and Lehman is right back to action, goes around the outside of Jax FO. Beautiful maneuver there around the outside of turn number 4 and gets himself back up to P9, Jazz.
Yep, he is doing well on the two-stop strategy, which could work, and perhaps he's probably going to hope that the rain gets worse towards the end of the race, so that he can go onto the inters and time that very well, because the mediums are quite fast at the moment, and he's already catching up to the Haas driver Renzi as well. He was on 6th, obviously been on those mediums for most of this race, as he gets past him as well. So, yeah, he needs to try and get through traffic soon, but surely he won't have any problem with that. Curly still catching up to Aidenator. Oh, we got a freeway battle for the lead. This is going to get spicy.
Yeah, exactly. Now, of course, the Williams has backed out, so now these three have inherited the top 3 positions, and there you have the Aidenator having a go around the outside. Ooh, Curly almost collecting the rear of the McLaren, overcooking his brakes he did, and he's going to lose out a couple car lanes. Aidenator, unfortunately for him, wasn't able to get the move done, and the number 66 is going to have to sit behind the 57 for the time being, as we have another bunch of drivers going into the pits.
So we have Black Panther, who is going on to the set of the medium tyres, and Iceman pitted earlier as well. Obviously, we mentioned the other guys that pitted earlier.
Yeah, it was J. Cole who pitted at the end of this lap as well.
Ah, right. Yeah, he's gone on to the hards, interestingly enough, now.
Yeah. Well, it is a choice. Those drivers who started on the softs, I was seeing in chat that softs to mediums is doable. It is not doable. The softs only last 8 laps, the mediums last about 15. So that's 23 laps, not 35, right? So you have to do a 2-stop. And you might be able to go from softs to hards, because the hards really last a very long time.
Curly has lost it, I think, in the start of sector 3, and he almost,
yep.
I don't know how he lost it a little bit there, but he's just losing so much grip, and I think he's been on those softs for a bit longer than we thought, and due to the fact it's raining, softs don't last as long in the rain as it is in the dry. So yes, he's going into the pits right now.
Yeah, exactly. First off, the tires are not really on their most optimal temperature race, because the track is colder. The softs work with a bit of hotter conditions, as we have a battle. I couldn't quite check who that was into turn 1. I think it was Kruzix and Jax FO. Kruzix got past the Toro Rosso there, up to P4 he goes. Entity also in P3 at the moment, but is he ghosted? Entity is ghosted as he dropped out. That's a shame. He started from last place. He started last, he's up to P3. Oh my, he's disconnected. Wow, what bad luck from the Slovenian. But yeah, as I was saying, the softs don't work as well, because of course, first because of the temperature, and second because you have less grip, so the tires themselves have to work a bit harder to keep connected to the ground and providing grip to the car, right? So they do work a lot harder than what they're supposed to, so they drop out even faster. And apparently Curly overextended his stint, and he lost out coming out of turn number 11, the last corner of sector 2, the quick right-hander. He lost the rear there, so that's how he dropped places, and Black Panther might have just done the same. Oh no, it was actually in the chicane of turns 6 and 7, but unfortunately not smooth sailing for our debutee today, Jess.
No, it's not. And what a shame it is, because he was very looking forward to the start of this race. He was hoping he could pick up the pace a little bit, but it's only his first race. He may be new to league racing in general, so usually when people start in league races, they want to improve. They may not want to get good results straight away, as we've got Entity was in a battle because obviously he's disconnected, but Prix it's easy gets past him. And we've got the two McLarens fighting as well, and Shadow potentially is gaining advantage of all this as he's pulling away from them. And we've got Jack Zeffo joining in this as well. This Jack is doing not too bad on those tyres in this wet. He must be saving on those tyres. Surely, if I was him, I would be struggling on those tyres. But he seems to be all right. He's catching up a little bit, but obviously Jayco and Aidenator are on newer tyres. But I think Aidenator's doing much better than his teammate right now, as he's going to put the pressure on Shadow.
Yeah, exactly. Well, about Jax, I believe he started outside of the top 10, so he has brand new softs for starters, as opposed to the ones who started with softs in the top 10. At least these ones are brand new, as Entity is going to get further down the order. Ooh, a mistake there from Jax FO, so commentator's curse right there. At least he didn't put it in a wall. But yeah, as I was saying, Jax FO, he's not using much ERS. He has a full battery, so he's not pushing much from the engine. He's not forcing the tires to withstand as much horsepower getting output from the engine, right? So, or the power unit. So he is making better work of these tires. Of course, eventually they have to give up anyways. It's lap 11, so it was a bit overdue, and he's coming to the pits.
Yep, he is. He's going on, what time is it? I think he's going to go on to he's going on to the hards. So he's committed to the hard strategy. Oh, that is a gamble.
Yeah, it is. But, well, in the meantime, we've had Andy Natal drop out the position to Shadow. That's the difference between the mediums and the hard tires at the moment. Of course, Andy Natal does need to pit once again until the end of the race, so Shadow might just even not try to put up a battle to Andy Natal, because Shadow knows he's going to have to nurse those tires to the end, and Andy Natal knows he has to be fast to be able to compensate for the fact he's going to pit once again. Not Jay Curly, but I Curly came into the pits into a set of hards, which he's going to take into the end. He did lose a lot of time due to some of his mistakes, so let's see if he can still get something back. And while we were speaking a while ago, I've noticed there was a mistake from Blitzkrieg when he was on intermediates. Bailey Thompson, I don't know if there was a collision with both of them again, but Bailey Thompson dropped out a few positions. He went into the grass as he just went right now, and oh, fortunately for him, well, within the bad luck, fortunately for him, he didn't just drop out. And nonetheless, he retires from the session anyways. I don't think you're supposed to do that. He might get
quality ban.
Yeah, quality ban, or at least a reprimand. But yeah, I can understand the frustration. Bailey Thompson hasn't been able to score a point since his debut at France. So yeah, very bad luck riddled season for the British driver of the Alfa Romeo team.
Yeah, what a shame from Bailey again. Like, he seems to be having bad luck at the moment, which is a bit of a shame. But we're just seeing battles going up everywhere at the moment. We've got battle for the points, as well as we've got Gelberband and Kai going for it. And also we've got Aiden up front. We've got Aidenator and Prutsit battle for the podium positions. We haven't seen much penalties. Oh no, we've lost another retirement. It's iCurly, I believe. Where did he lose it there? I'm just going to see if I can... Oh, no, I can't go on board with Cisco because he's a lap down.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was sector 3, so I'm guessing once again he lost the car out of turn 14. maybe his suspension is a bit too stiff as Galbovan mounts a curb. The car didn't enjoy it one bit and he had to do some counter-steering motions there multiple times as the car whiplashed on him. Virtual safety car is in place though, so that's going to save him a little bit of time.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I think he must be so lucky after that because that's going to help him warm his tyres up a little bit and...
Look at this. We have a few opportunistic pit stops.
We've got Aidenator that's going in for hard tyres, but he's not going to lose that much time. But he's got the likes of the Ghost Entity and Ace of Spades as well. Is he going to go ahead of Ace of Spades, I wonder? I'm just going to see. Yes, he is. On fresher hards as well, so he's timed that quite well. We're just going to make it to the end. And, well, we have some Prix in the pits as well. I think he went a little too late there. He was hoping it was going to last until for quite a while, but I think he timed that late. Or maybe he was going to anyway.
Yeah,
maybe
he's going to replace his front wing, so he probably had damage.
Ah, right. So where did he get damage? I don't know, but I think we'll see anyway.
Yeah, he had a battle with Gilbavand right before that virtual safety car. Maybe he got connected. I didn't quite detect any carbon fiber pieces flying, but maybe I was just blind there for a moment and Kaibashimi did in fact get damage as a result of possible contact with Gilbavand. They did have a bit of wheel banging, but I honestly didn't notice any contact within the carbon fiber bits of these F1 cars. But yeah, unfortunately Kaibashimi is going to pit once again. He's going to take mediums. Not sure actually if those are going to take to the end, because no, they are. They last 15 laps. So yeah, he's going to be able to take them until the end of the race.
Yeah, so I think he's good. He's timed that. Even though he did have damage, he made the right decision to go into the pits when he did, because we will have a fresh set of rubber, and you'll know we'll get to the end anyway. Fine, and he won't have to pit again unless he makes a mistake again, which we hope he doesn't. He has the pace to catch up to his rivals, but Gelbaband can make the hards last until the end. And we got Iceman and Ace of Spades. Iceman just gets past Ace of Spades out of nowhere there. Nice move from him as he's up into 8th. The Iceman is doing what he does best, like Kimmy does, and overtakes quite nicely.
Yeah, exactly. He did have a good display in the changeable conditions at Silverstone. So let's see. It looks like he's comfortable in the rain. So even though we are not in exactly intermediate tire conditions, he's making his tires work because he gets a bit squirmy there out of turn number 10, I believe that is. Skybushimi is out. That's unfortunate.
Is that did he? I don't think he retired himself, because obviously he went into the pits.
No, he went into a wall.
Set to 1.
Yeah, he probably lost out of turn 1 or into turn 4, but that would be sector 2. So I guess he lost it out of turn 1, put it in a wall.
Flag. Oh, yep, I see it. Oh, it's right in the middle of the track.
Oh, he is? I can't tell at the moment.
Well, yeah, he's right in the middle of the track between turn 2 and turn...
Oh,
well,
yeah,
pretty much
he
in
is.
the middle of turn 2, yeah.
I got a glimpse of him. He just despawned, but I did get a glimpse of his crashed out Haas vehicle, unfortunately. Race over for Kaibashimi, who was on a streak of top 10 finishes out of the last, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of the last 6 races, he finished in the top 10 in 10. He finished in the top 10 in 5 of them, and he had a 4-point finishes streak. So, yeah, and that's very bad news for him and the Haas team as a whole, because Entity isn't able to capitalize on the good start he had.
And he's still disconnected as well.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing it's a double retirement for the Haas cars.
Yeah, it's
not
going to be
a good day for Guter Steiner, I must say.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna have to. Maybe if he went back to Australia spec cars for this race, maybe it would have been a different result. But it is what it is. hopefully the drivers get the message that enough is enough.
Yeah, I hope so as well. But again, it is changeable conditions. I would find it difficult as well. As Gelberband is another casualty. Yellow flag is set to 2 and 3, so it could be any point there. And I think most people got past it. I'll see if I'm on board with Lehman now. I'm just going to see if I can catch a glimpse of Gelberband's car, but I doubt I can see it. So, oh, we got a yellow flag again. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
Gelberband is out at the exit of turn 14. Wasn't no, not 14, but turn 11. So just like a few other drivers, Corporal Carrot, also iCurly having a few issues through there. That's a very tough corner for the cars, because it demands a lot of the tires and the suspension. So if you are running a time trial setup, usually those setups are made for like getting the most amount of rotation, especially because you have the extra grip from the soft tires and the optimal conditions, right? You have the lightest car possible, so you can afford to run a harder suspension and anti-roll bars to help with the rotation of the car. So when you bring them to a race, even if it wasn't raining, just the fact that he has the fuel on board and you get the tire wear added into the mix, eventually either the suspension is too much for the tires to handle, or the tires themselves don't have the amount of grip that can get them through the corner, and they start complaining for sure.
Yeah, they do, and these guys have got to be a lot careful, especially when they get to the end as well. Well, with these tires as well. I think the gaps are starting to increase a little bit as they're trying to find a little bit more of their rhythm. There's still people that will have to pit again, such the Ghosted Entity, and possibly, I think Lehman will be pitting as well, as I think Ace of Spades gets past Entity. Yes, he does. And Iceman is on another charge on Lawman's as well, so he can gain another position again. He's flying there today. I swear he must be involved in battles every single race.
Yeah, he is one of the drivers that he doesn't usually get the greatest qualifying performances, which does set him back a little bit, but he always comes through the races. He's gotten himself, just looking at his history, he's got himself 1, 2, 3, 4 top 5 finishes and a podium at Silverstone with a second place finish for him, which is his season best. His season worst is a 12th place finish at Spain, and it was the only time he finished a race outside of the top 10. He only has one retirement at Bahrain, so yeah, very consistent, very fast. Sometimes his lack of one lap performance, he just can't get it together when push comes to shove, and that sometimes doesn't allow him to get the results that he has shown that he deserves.
Yeah, and he's definitely showing what he deserves today. And even though he's on those older, harder tires, he is acting like it's fresh, because Lawman's is struggling, and Iceman is going to try and capitalise it. But Lawman shuts the door and says, "See you later. You're not having that position that easily." And I think Lawman has been caught napping when he went off the track there, and he was. I think Iceman was hoping that he can capitalise that, but I think Norman woke up just at the right time there, which he needed to anyway.
Yeah, well, Jacksepho gets a 3-second time penalty, unfortunately, and I'm going to say, oh, Black Panther has a mistake! Black Panther spun into turn 5? No, this is after the chicane, so this is out of the chicane of turn 6 and 7. Maybe he mounted the curb on the exit, and the car just said, nope, the grass is wet, I'm not gonna get any traction whatsoever, and just sent the car into a spin. He had just overtaken the paranormal entity of that Haas, and Black Panther, unfortunately, does he have wing damage? Going to try and see. He does have wing damage, quite hard.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, right side of his front wing is badly damaged.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to have to go to the pits, and I'm actually happy that Ace of Spades finally went into the pits, because with the amount of pit stops Cisco has done, I'm pretty sure he has borrowed a couple sets of tires from the other side of the garage. So let's see if Ace of Spades has a few of them for himself, as he's going to get himself the front wing changed. So a bit of some war scars on that front wing that he just replaced. Nonetheless, he's going on his merry way. Black Panther also pitted, so Ace of Spades can still maintain himself in a points paying position.
Yep, he is, and the most important thing is these guys are not giving up as well. You only have more of a chance to get points and not get points. So Cisco is in 12th place, a lap down, but we might see the likes of if Black Panther continues to struggle, he might retire, and obviously Entity is disconnected as well. So Cisco, even though he's had a trouble start, he can still be on for a point. So you know that's why he's keeping going, because he knows a point is in sight today, and so is Ace of Spades as well. He's also in the points as well. So just don't give up, just don't retire when it gets too hard, and yeah, Cisco is the proof of that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Entity is DNF'd, so everyone below him is promoted one position. Cisco is in 11th at the moment. Cisco could get himself his second point of the season. He has only scored a point once so far at China, and yeah, he might get himself his second point on the board. And of course, it's not much, but every bit helps, because we've seen in the history of Formula 1 championships decided even by half a point. So one point does go a long distance.
Yeah, especially with the fastest lap now, which will make or break a difference between winning and losing a championship. I'm glad they introduced it in the game as well. And speaking of fastest lap, at the moment, Lehman, who is currently our race leader, is leading the fastest lap battle. So at the moment, he's going to get an extra point compared to his either 18 or 25 points, depending on where he comes out of the pits, compared to Shadow and Cruises, as I'm just seeing now. As they're crossing the line now, they're going to go ahead of him anyway, but Lehman is going to be on fresher tyres, so he's probably going to catch up to them very, very soon.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of Cruisix though, Lehman is actually going to come out quite far ahead of Shadow, but Cruisix might get himself his second place finish of the season. That is his previous best, and yeah, it is his previous best. He achieved that one at a very accidented French Grand Prix, which was actually also in conditions like this. It was intermediate conditions, yes, but it was a full rainy race, if I'm not mistaken. So looks like when the skies don't shine, Cruisix usually does.
Yeah, and he's not doing too bad, and like we said earlier on in the broadcast, he was one of those ones along with Iceman who really shined. It was really my standout in the race, because I was able to defend and attack quite nicely, and they switched positions throughout the whole of the race, and gave us some nice entertainment, I must say. So we may see that again from Cruises, apart from that, but instead of Iceman, but with Lehman. So I'm guessing he's every time he's battling it is in a username that ends in men. There we go.
Well,
had to put it there.
Yeah, okay. Well, that is a coincidence, for as much as it's worth. Lehman is currently 4 seconds away from him, and is going to start a lap. He's actually going in a bit of pushy mode. Mode number 3 of ERS, coming out of turn 1. Quite a risk, I would say, considering the slipperiness of the track at the moment. But he's going for it. He's going for another fastest lap to try and put a nail in that coffin, or in that topic's coffin, and take home the full 26 points, which should be helpful to the groove-based squad, no doubt, especially since Blitzkrieg is not racing, or sorry, he's racing, but he has retired from the race. So we don't have both Williams drivers scoring today, and Lehman is going to try to make up for that as much as he can.
Yeah, I've been in one of those places where my teammate has retired, and I had to pick up the pieces and try and score as many points as possible. And I usually find it hard, and I wonder how Lehman is thinking as well, trying to score some good points for his team, because it's not just the Drivers' Championship they got to think about, it's the Constructors as well. And I usually want to do well in the Constructors. I don't want to be last. I don't want to be there. I want to score as high as I can. And I think if Lehman wins, it will be a great confidence boost for him. And he's set another faster lap again, a 1:25.7. So he's improving lap after lap. So he's gonna catch up to Krusitz, but by the end of this race, who has been on those hard tyres for most of this race already.
Yeah, exactly. He pitted at the end of lap 2, it looks like, because he has 21 laps on those, though those must be screaming to get out of this car. But Krusitz is not going to do them the favor they want, I guess. I guess he could even go for the softs, because he has a good enough lead on Shadow. Shadow is also on 14 lap hards. If he goes on the softs, it's going to be blazing. It's going to be blistering fast at this point, or at that point, if he actually pulls through that strategy. So there's a window open for him, but I don't think he actually is going for that one. Now, taking a look further back, we have Black Panther closing in on Ace of Spades. He's going to get Slipstream and the DRS. Fortunately for the Ferrari driver, he also gets the DRS from the Ghost of Entity, and so is going to be able to delay that battle for a little bit. Both drivers are on the points, because of course Entity ahead of them is going to DNF, so they are both 9th and 10th at this point. Now let's see in which order they are going to come through the checkered flag. Of course, Black Panther does look like he has an advantage in ERS. He has a massive advantage. Ace of Spades is about 30%, Black Panther is about 90%. So in terms of the ERS side of things, Black Panther is able to be faster than Ace of Spades while not using as many resources, or at least while not using as much from the hybrid side of his power unit. Of course, he might be using more fuel, but yeah, it's a solid enough debut from the Red Bull driver. What do you think?
Well, he's learning. He's had a trouble start, obviously, but he's able to just forget what happened and concentrate on the rest of this race, and that is exactly what he has done. And it's very important to think about that, as we were speaking earlier with Cisco as well. So he's in the points. He's going to get some good points if he keeps this up, which will be a very strong debut for him. I've seen people that have raced where it's really hard to get points on your debut, and if, to be honest, if you do get points on your debut race in a league, that is an achievement, and I think I can say that is what Black Panther is aiming for, and anything lower than that, he's going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I do also believe, just to add to your point, some might look at it and say, of course it was a tricky situation, like a third of the field as DNF'd, but keeping yourself together in tough conditions is also a skill. So,
yes,
at least I believe so. So Black Panther is keeping himself composed where others have failed. Yes, Black Panther had these hiccups, but he managed to salvage his car, well, where the others just got terminal damage, right? So either by sheer luck or not, he's managed to keep himself consistent. He has good pace. He's going to be pressurizing 9th place there as Lehman finally gets past Krusitz. I'm sorry guys, I missed that one. I was actually thinking Black Panther would have overtaken Ace of Spades by now, but nonetheless, he's going to be putting on the pressure on the Ferrari as he's going to battle for 9th place. But yes, I was going to say, just to wrap up, it might be luck, but sometimes you also need a bit of luck to get things going your way, and Black Panther, again, not smooth sailing entirely, but he's done a solid enough job to finish in the points paying positions when other drivers who are theoretically faster haven't been able to get the job done.
And speaking of Black Panther, he's going to try and make a move this instant on Ace of Spades, and Ace of Spades closes the door entirely on them, but as long as the likes of Cisco doesn't get past, but he's got to be a lap down anyway, so no matter what, he's going to be fine anyway, as long as he doesn't crash out. But it is quite narrow, obviously, and Ace of Spades managed to pull away, so I wonder if Black Panther made a bit of a mistake, but I'm guessing he's not concentrating on right now. He's concentrating on just getting the cards for the end of the race, surely. But luck, driving in these wet conditions takes skill, obviously, so that is what he's doing. But I'll just give a quick rundown. I think whilst we were seeing that, Lehman actually got past Cruises, I think, a few laps ago. So he's in the lead of the race, and with Shadow in P3. And Ace of Spades always got a penalty. I wonder if Black Panther's got any penalties. I will check.
Who is out? Ace of Spades is out!
All right.
Ace of Spades is out.
That is a shame.
Yeah, I have no idea where it is. I'm going on board with Cisco trying to figure it out. So I guess...
It was turn 13. It was.
Oh, turn 13. So, yeah, the second to last corner. That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate, but that does move Black Panther to P9, and it does put Cisco up to P10. So Cisco is going to claim a point despite finishing a lap down, ladies and gentlemen, because of course Entity is disconnected and he hasn't done enough laps to be considered to complete enough laps to get the points, to get the result, right? So yeah, it is going to be giving up one Ferrari out of the points, another Ferrari into the points. Black Panther didn't have to work as hard as he was probably predicting to climb up to a P9, but I would like to take your attention to a possible battle between the McLaren boys, Andy Nater and J. Cole. They've been very close to each other throughout the entirety of the season. For example, just to see you guys how close they've been, at Monaco and Canada, Andy Nater finished P4, J. Cole P5, in both Monaco and Canada.
Wow.
So yeah, those two have been, of course, sometimes they have more luck than some other times, but they've been very close in pace to each other. They've been very tight in their contest for leadership within the McLaren team, and they are coming to blows once again. I don't know as to what extent team orders might be coming to play, as J. Cole does have half of his ERS available, and Nater has exactly 100% coming into the right-hander there. So yeah, Andy Nater does have, he also has the fresher tires. J. Cole gets wide, and then it's going to say thank you very much, gets moved on up to P4, and now J. Cole is going to become the hunter, because of course he's going to be able to put the DRS and the slipstream, put the squeeze on Andy Nater. Andy Nater is going to be forced to use some of that ERS. He does have a big advantage for now, but if he has to use higher ERS modes to defend, that advantage might become a disadvantage very quickly.
Yeah, which is a bit of a shame if it does come to this, but I'm sure J. Cole would save when he can, and I think what Aiden has done to get past J. Cole was he had more ERS to play with, so he was able to go up really high and then go back very low again. He's on 94% still, whereas J. Cole is still on 54. So Aiden must be doing something right. They're far away from Shadow at the top three, but they're having their battle of their own, which is looking very impressive. But we'll see if J. Cole can pressurize Aiden again, and we'll see if Aiden can hold on to P4, which will still be very consistent for the McLaren team, just like in real life.
Yeah, it is quite reminiscent of the real life, especially for the places they usually finish in. Of course, one of them, I'm not sure actually who would be declared the Norris of this team. I would guess J. Cole, because J. Cole has more DNFs than Andy Nater. J. Cole has 2, Andy Nater has 1. They are actually so close to each other that when they DNF, both of them DNF. That was the season opener at the Australian Grand Prix. Both of them DNF'd, and of course J. Cole DNF'd at Azerbaijan in a race that Andy Nater didn't show up for. So when they finish, both finish in the points. When one doesn't show up, the other can't get through. So it's quite a coincidence, but yeah, it has been true. Both drivers, whenever one finishes in the points, the other does the same. And once one retires, usually the other doesn't finish the race as well.
Don't jinx it, it's not the end yet. We've got 6 laps to go. Anything can happen. It is not over until the checker flag falls. All these drivers have got to do is bring it home and make sure they keep it clean, as well as battling, obviously. and we can start to see that Aidinator's having some much better straight line speed, and somehow he's catched up to Shadow. So has Shadow made a mistake or something?
I don't know. I think that's we being blind, because those 9 seconds are to Kruzik's, not to the cars behind.
Oh, right. So we were blanking that situation. I thought it was. Right. So
Yeah, I got deceived as well.
yeah, I don't know why we were blind in that situation, but yeah, sorry about that. I bet you there's people in the chat going, "No, what are you talking about? Shadow is catching up."
Well, actually, we've had Bill point out. Sorry, we've had Bill point out in chat that looked like J. Cole let Endinator past, so that Endinator could have a chance at going to Shadow. So maybe just a gentleman agreement here within the McLaren team for much of the blood pressure relief in Zach Brown's circulation. So that's nice one for Zach there.
Yeah, I agree. I think that looking at the move that Aidinator pulled on J. Cole, it looks very easy. It looked like J. Cole let Aidinator through by the way that he positioned himself in the car. So yeah, I'm not really that surprised. They work well together anyway. They have a good relationship with each other. So if they're keen to sacrifice themselves in helping their team, then they would do it. So good on J. Cole for respecting his team, and they're still gonna get some good points anyway. So you know he's got nothing to lose. Iceman's 8 seconds down the road, so let's see what Aidinator can do in the last 3 or 4 laps then.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. Of course, Endinator is maintaining himself within a second of Shadow. Shadow, in terms of his ERS, is feeling the pressure. Mode 4 of ERS straight out of turn 14. Endinator is just on mode 3, even drops down to mode 1 as he approaches turn 1. He gets the slipstream and the DRS, gets himself 6 tenths away from Shadow, and he's going to put a big squeeze on the resources of the Renault. Our championship leader might not finish on the podium for the first time. Sorry, no, it would be the second race in a row that he doesn't finish in the podium, which has never happened. The only races where Shadow hasn't finished on the podium was the season opener at Australia, where he actually led. He led. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm going to bring this up again for the millionth time. Shadow was leading for most of the race, then he lost out because it started raining and he got caught out by a lack of grip due to the wet surface. Out of turn 2, lost the rear, smacked himself into the wall, had to get a front wing replacement. A bit of a saving grace for him was that a safety car was deployed shortly after, so he was able to get the pack benched up, and he managed with the not the softer, but the fresher tires and the new front wing, he was able to get some overtakes done and get P6. But Shadow led most of that race. Unfortunately, couldn't come through with the podium. He got podium every race since until Germany, and might be the first time second race in a row where he doesn't finish in the podium. Let's see what Endinator has to say about that, as he's going to pull around the outside of turn 1. There's contact, and Shadow goes for a spin. There's a... Oh, that's going to be spicy, as Shadow drops out to P5 behind the McLaren's Jess.
I think that is what I call commentator's curse right there. And that's our 4th or 5th virtual safety car.
Yeah, exactly.
That is a lot of virtual safety cars, and Lawmans is taking advantage of it, and that's timed out very well for Lawmans, and it hasn't left yet. So yeah, he hasn't lost any positions.
Yeah, he barely lost any time.
No, he hasn't lost any time at all. That was perfect timing. DRS enabled just as he came out of the pit lane. So, but I don't think it's going to be enough to catch up to Iceman, because obviously he's way behind that. But he will have a chance to get fastest lap, and Cisco is taking advantage of that as well. But that means Aidinator can get a podium, and we could, instead of seeing a 4-5, we could see a 3-4, which will be even better. But it is at Shadow's expense, really.
Yeah, it is quite a shame. It looked to me like contact. Maybe Shadow overcooked his brakes and went into the back of the McLaren. I wasn't on board with any of them. But yeah, of course, that might go up to the stewards and it's going to be their decision. We might have the top 3 decided in the backstage. So let's see how it goes. For now, Shadow is going to try to catch back up to J. Cole and is back within the RS range of the McLaren driver there.
Yeah. He is, I think he's roughly, Shadow is still catching, but I'm guessing it might be a bit too little too late to repair the damage, unfortunately, which will be a bit of a shame, but he needs to get in DRS range quickly. And Iceman's in the pits as well. He had a bit of damage. No, he hasn't. I think he's gone on for some softs as well. And Lawman's has just gone ahead, but that's not going to lose that much time anyway. So we've got 2 more laps to go, and pretty much, I think the only positions that are decided will pretty much be the top 2, as the top 2 are already flying compared to everybody else. Lehman, 11.5 seconds. Krutic, 8.7 seconds.
Yeah.
So, to the rest of the field. So, wow.
Yeah, it has been dominating pace from Lehman, and Kruzik has just been... I don't know how he's managed to do this. 31 laps on the hards. I know the hards can last a very long time, but I've never tried myself, so I don't know how much he's struggling. I can only imagine he's struggling a lot. As I was saying, he probably got a little bit of a slight advantage for the fact that he's on the hards. The hards work best at lower temperatures, and since it's raining, the track must be quite cold. It's not raining enough for intermediate, so the track must be quite cold anyways. So that does help a little bit in terms of the tire wear, and the range of temperature within the tires work the best. So the hards were a very good choice for Kruzix. As you can see, just for me space, he's coming up to P2 and is only beaten by Lehman, who is just amazingly quick today, as Lormans gets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Iceman might be trying to do the same. And Jess, could you check the penalties from Lormans and Iceman? Because Iceman could have pitted because he knows, even if he gets overtaken by Lormans because of the undercut from the Dutch driver, the Alfa Romeo might still be able to come out ahead from penalties. I don't know if Iceman has any penalties. I know Lormans just picked up a 3-second time penalty at the end of the previous lap, so Iceman can still get P6 and the extra point for the fastest lap.
He has, well, he got 3, I think it said 3 seconds on lap 5 for Iceman. I'm not sure if it's either a stop go or drive through, I don't know. But he did get a penalty on lap 32, so I think Lormans has less, but I'm gonna wait for the game to decide. It's hard to tell because it says 3 seconds on one of them. I don't know if it's either a stop go or if it's just a normal 3-second penalty. I don't know. It's impossible to tell. We're on the final lap anyway, as Lehman is crossing set 2 for the last time.
Yeah, he has had just a very, very good job. He got himself... he did get himself in a bit of that wet weather trap where he started on qualified on the softs, but most of his rivals did, so he was forced onto the 2-stop strategy. Nonetheless, he just worked his way, qualified in P2, got the best of Shadow, getting off the line, so brilliantly done from Lehman, and then he just pulverized everyone, never looked back, and there you have it, going to navigate through turn 14 one last time, and there you have it, Lehman is going to cross over the line to take home the win of the Hungarian Grand Prix. The Polish is going to be in the top step of the podium for the first time this season. Every single time he finishes a race, it's in P5. And the other time that he's finished a race, he got himself P2 at Bahrain. But yeah, he only has, surprisingly enough, he only has 5 race finishes, counting with this one. So he got 5th at Australia, 2nd at Bahrain, 5th at Spain, a DNF at Canada, and 5th at Silverstone. Never showed up for the other races, and now he comes and takes the win.
That is impressive. He's been faultless from start to finish, and is able to take advantage of people that were struggling on those basically wet track dry tyre challenge is what I would call today, and Lehman has done it perfectly. Prix has done it perfectly as well. The two McLarens doing very well as well. And one thing we forgot to mention, I think we got Jackson Foe right behind Black Panther, and Black Panther is gonna get 4 points this race unless Black Panther has more penalties than Jack. We'll see. No, yeah, Black Panther gets his first points in ILR, and it's not just 1 point, it's not just 2 points, it is 4 points.
Yeah, exactly. Very good job from the Belgium driver, doing nicely in his first race. Of course, theoretically, he didn't do that well during qualifying, so theoretically he would have a harder time in other circumstances. But again, you have to deal what you have to play with what you are dealt, right? You have to play the hand you're dealt, and he did the best job he could have done. So a solid performance for the first time. And Cisco, since China, claims another point. I'm pretty sure he's happy with that. At least he's typing in caps lock in chat. So yeah, pretty sure he's excited about that one.
Yeah.
Now taking a look at the results, Jess, give us the rundown, and after that, let us know who surprised you in a positive way and a negative way on this race.
Well, I've got to say, the two McLarens, they've impressed me no end. They work together as a team, and it showed today, and that's why they're P3 and 4, and they're going to get the most points out of every team today. Well, possibly Williams, I don't know, because and Lehman doesn't get fastest lap, actually, it's Iceman. But let's go through the results. We've got Lehman who wins, Kreutz in second, Aidenator third, J. Cole fourth, Shadow with his second non-podium in a row in fifth place, Normand in sixth, Iceman seventh, Black Panther eighth, Jack Sefo in ninth, and I've got to say, the two Haas cars, no points scored, which is, I think, the first time in a while, actually, so it's going to be a shame for them. And Cisco, your last finishes, but everyone else from Entity down to Ray has retired.
Yeah, exactly. It was a bit of shame, but yeah, it is the first time both Haas do not score any points since the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, where NTT DNF'd and Kaibashimi wasn't able to join us for that race. So since round 4 of the championship, we are in round number 11. I believe this is 11 or 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. I forgot to change that in the thumbnail because I'm a smart person. But yeah, round 12 of the championship, and since round 4, they've been scoring at least one of the cars ever since. So a bit of consistency there from the Haas was broken today, unfortunately. I guess, of course, that's just what happens sometimes when the conditions are this tricky. So I do believe this is the end of our broadcast. Any final words, Jess?
Well, I must say, it definitely threw a spanner in the works. We were expecting intermediate tyres at the start of the race, and I was kind of predicting a wet track dry tyre. I was pointing it out, and I wasn't expecting it to happen, and I think it took skill for these guys to do it like that, and some of them shone, some of them didn't, but we can't wait to see what happens next week. I believe we're in Spa next week in Belgium, and that's one of my favourite tracks on this game, race-wise. It's just a lot of fun to commentate and a lot of fun to drive as well.
Exactly. Well, this is it from today. Of course, always a pleasure commentating alongside you, Jess. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give me a like button. If you did not, the dislike button is, as always, right beside it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. Hit the bell icon for any notifications of whenever we are about to start a live stream or to post a video. Hope to see you guys next time, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.